is house hacking. Everyone's always asking me, how can I get started with real estate and buying investment? House hacking is a plan where you put 3% down on a house, either a single family home or a multi-family home, where you plan on renting out a majority of the home. So if it's a duplex, for example, which is kind of two family houses in one, you live in one yourself and rent out the other, or in a single family house, you buy the house to live in and then you rent out all the spare bedrooms to help pay off the mortgage. So the best thing about house hacking is it's the best way to get started with investing, because you only have to put 3% down as a first-time home buyer, at least in the Philadelphia market. But most places you'll be able to get in with 3.5% down, which makes home buying a lot easier. And then you have someone helping you pay for the mortgage. So you knock out two of the hardest parts, the down payment and the monthly payment, which makes house hacking such a great option for first-time buyers. So house hacking is super affordable because you're going from renting, where you're paying someone else every single month, to now you're owning. And with house hacking, you're having either someone in another unit or in your house helping you pay the mortgage. So your monthly payment when you're house hacking is very likely to be a lot lower than renting, and you're still getting principal in your house, and you have a chance at appreciation, and you might even get some cash flow in there. So there's a lot of benefits to house hacking that make it a little more affordable than renting. So one of the main benefits about house hacking, and this is something that I particularly find useful, is that even if your lifestyle, you don't really have to change the lifestyle you're in. Let's say you live with a couple of roommates right now. You could buy a house and have those same roommates move in with you and just make payments to you versus the landlord, which will likely either make your rent a lot lower versus the payment that you had, or you'll end up maybe even cash flowing a little bit and making a little money every month. But one of the best parts of house hacking is your lifestyle doesn't change at all. It's just the ownership of where you're at is changing, and for the better for you. When you're trying to house hack, one thing to watch for and some things to keep in mind are you're going to be living there yourself. So you want to find a neighborhood that's good for you, and it's likely that where you want to live, you're going to attract tenants that are very similar to yourself, which is usually a good thing, because if you're house hacking, say, a single family home, you probably want people like yourself to be in the house, people you'll get along with. But a lot of people will tell me they want to house hack an area that's on an A to F scale, like a C or a D, and I don't understand that concept, because you want to live there yourself. You have to. It's part of the house hacking game. And you have to keep that in mind when you're house hacking, that you're going to be living there, and that the people that you're trying to house hack with and have as tenants are going to want to have to live there. So oftentimes I say try to house hack in like a B neighborhood on the scale, something that could turn into an A and give you that chance at appreciation, but also somewhere that you're comfortable and don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get into. So another thing to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out where should I house hack, where do I want to buy a house in general, house hacking is all about getting the right tenants who will pay you monthly and eliminating vacancies. So you want to get a house that's in an area that there's a lot of jobs, and in an area that you would want to live in yourself. So for example, if you're trying to house hack in Philadelphia, I think the closer you can get to Center City, where a lot of people's jobs are, the better. And the closer to the nightlife you can get, the better, because that's what a lot of people who move into the city are looking for, are either the nightlife or they want to be close to their job, and other things that they can walk around and be attracted to, which these are things that you are probably going to want anyway, but you have to think proximity of your house to the renter's work location. That's really big to keep in mind. So one of the best reasons that house hacking is such a great way to get started with investing and continue with investing is when you buy a house and you say you're going to own or occupy, which means you're going to live in the property and house hack, you only have to stay there for a year to satisfy that requirement. So after the first year, you could do the same thing to a new house and house hack a new house and keep the old house as a rental. So house hacking becomes a great investment strategy for that reason. And with that, the only thing that you have to watch out for is how low your down payments are, because eventually you're going to have a lot of payments, and you're just going to keep in mind that when you move out, that after you move out, numbers need to work as well. Not just while you're there, but after you move out. So you want to purchase a house hack for the beginning term and the long term. And in the short term, there's a lot of options that you can do to make house hacking work. If you're worried that you're not going to be able to get someone fast enough, or let's say you have a buddy who wants to move in 2 months, but you can't you can't really, you want to get someone sooner, you can always Airbnb a bedroom in your house for that 1 to 2 months. And with Airbnb, you can be as picky as you want as who comes. And that's a great way to just kind of make sure that you got to pick the tenant you want, and you got to pick the tenants you want in the short term. And with either of those options, you get to pretty much choose whether or not people stay there or not. So it's a great short-term alternative to try to get some extra cash and get a house up under you.